You don't think Rogue can 5-0 it? No, I think if anyone is gonna 5-0, like if it really has to happen, it probably will be BYUN doing it. But we'll have to wait and see. The bottom right side, talking about him already. He's from the Shopify Rebellion, the Blue Terran, Mr. BYUN. Put your hands together. And those floppy meat handles you have, let's flap him also for this man in the top left side. The Dragon Phoenix Gamer man himself. He's Mr. Rogue. The Zerg player for today, going for a spawning pool first. Quite aggressive. But you know what, looks like BYUN is going to go for a command center first. Skipping the barracks here. So I'd say this is probably the best situation for Rogue so far to kick things off with. He did get himself a gas geyser also, and that is what he is mining from right now. So it looks like this is quite a committed bit of Zergling stuff coming across here. He may just get himself the Zergling speed real quick and then just let it be there, but I mean, this could of course develop into something a lot more nasty also. Whether he wants to add the Baling Nest or something along those lines. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see, yeah, looks like he is just saving up for the Zergling speed. Afterwards, we'll keep an eye out on whether or not he maintains that mining on the gas geyser. For BYUN, we're seeing the double barracks here coming up afterwards. After that command center. Will that provide him with enough marines here to kind of safeguard the area? I'm not entirely certain. At least he is making a marine. Oh no, never mind. He is making a reactor right now. Okay, so that marine even going to be a little bit further delayed. But then again, to be fair, I mean, Rogue here only sending out 2 Zerglings at the start with this spawning pool first. Really only going to send in a lot more Zerglings here, it seems, as soon as he has that speed finished. He feels like he has a real good shot of getting in there. Right, we want to see whether or not he's still mining gas. He's still mining gas with 1 drone, so that could still lead into some sort of aggression here, but we'll see, we'll see. Still keeping things a little bit exciting. Finally, we do have some unit production coming up here for BYUN. Surprisingly enough, going unscathed against the spawning pool first opening here. Seeing how both players kind of refusing to figure out what is happening in the other player's base. No interest there whatsoever. They are just busy with their own thing. There's the Zergling speed now finishing up. We do have only 2 Zerglings, so already he's kind of giving away that he went for a very quick speed. And now with just 2 Zerglings there, it doesn't look like there's much to do. So maybe Rogue just going for a very quick Zergling speed here in order to keep himself safe against certain types of 2-racks and stuff like this, right? I mean, wasn't it BYUN or Rogue as well that was starting to do that type of stuff anyway? Like, a while ago probably, but even getting the Overlord speed here as well. Really just wanting to make sure that he has a good opportunity to figure out what the hell BYUN is up to. Sees a good amount of marines here, and this, I say, should be providing Rogue with the idea to make himself a Baling Nest here. At least something. So far, nothing else but drones and queens. There we are, there is that Baling Nest coming up. BYUN also adding in a couple of Hellions here with an armory following up, so looks like that will be part of the equation here that Rogue will have to fend of. And they are only 2 Hellbats, but 2 more on the way, of course. Might come in as reinforcements shortly after the fight starts, or maybe BYUN will wait around a little bit here at the edge of the creep. Is that already in vision? It is. Overlord speed safeguards those Overlords as well. Very important for Rogue right now, as he's already supply blocked. It's quite a bad situation, a bad time to be supply blocked, I have to say. And that is very rough. Losing another Overlord, that is going to be quite abysmal. He's going to be further supply blocked right now at a time when you just do not want to be supply blocked. This may come to cost Rogue here, honestly. That and the fact that he did not have a Zergling across the map trying to see when those Marines are moving out. A bit of a missed opportunity there. The Zerglings still get relatively close and get some pretty good connections here. But I mean, 11 workers going down, that is a good amount of damage to find for BYUN. He puts himself in a really good position. Has that third base coming up. He's transitioning into Widowmine tech with the drilling claws already coming up as well. So Rogue now kind of has to start responding, I'd say, to what just happened. And whether or not he chooses to go aggressive or whether or not he chooses to try and just make a ton of drones here. Make up for the 11 that he lost previously. Either one, he has to choose something and quite commit to it. I feel like he has to take a little bit of a gamble, right? Either over-drone slightly in some certain situations, but at least get yourself well equipped to deal with the later parts of the game. Or just try to get aggressive at this point in time. And it looks like we are going to get ourselves the drone part of this. Now, Rogue is known as a player, of course, that is pretty reasonably well equipped with dealing with situations where he's behind overall. Nice pulls on the drone so far. One more Widowmine comes in, and Rogue not letting it fool him in this situation. In the main base, ooh, that could be nice. Nope, we'll not be able to get much. 2 drones in total go down. Not bad. But not great either for, what was it, 3 Widowmines and a medevac. Alright, medevac coming back across. Will this be picked off by the Queen? Has an opportunity. There we are, lovely. 2 more drops coming along the sides. As we are checking to see if there's a spire or anything of the sorts coming up here for Rogue. And it does not appear to be the case. He is adding in the +1/+1 for the Zerglings and Banelings. He's getting himself Baneling speed. Kind of that is where all the gas is going towards right now. Ooh, losing fair amount of drones here as well. 5 of them so far. I'm going to lose a 6th. Again, with the lost mining as well as forcing to just kind of respond to this. Having to send all your Zerglings into these situations. It can be quite frustrating for a player. Well, a Zerg player here in these moments. Where the Terran is just, you know, continuously throwing around those Widowmine drops. It's a difficult thing to do. Takes a lot of attention for the Terran as well, of course. But my, oh my, Rogue is seemingly already struggling quite a bit here. 12, 13 more workers go down. Yes, Marines just floating around still, going absolutely everywhere they want to. Seeing how we still don't have a Spire. Or a Hydra Den. We're solely relying on the Spore Crawlers and the Queens to be able to snipe away at those medevacs, and that's a very difficult task for them to do. Infestation pit coming up here. It looks like Rogue is just planning to forego the Mutalisk tech entirely. Can't say I'm surprised with how long he already decided to do this right now. It will just... Oh, that is going to be a massive one. Oh, dear lord. 20 kills. My, oh my. And that's going to be a couple of drone kills as well. How is that 13? I have no idea. It's mental. It is absolutely mental. How many workers did we lose? 41 workers here. I think Rogue may have to start looking looking inwards a little bit. Stuff is just not going his way so far. To turn a game like this around still would be quite a tremendous feat. I suppose he still has 81 workers here, but I mean, he's in a desperate situation where he needs himself miraculous Baneling connections, I would say. Or he needs to find himself in the Ultralisk attack as quickly as possible here. Don't even think Rogue has enough money anymore for Banelings at the moment. He has 4 of them. And, well, the army of BYUN is on, like, 3 locations. So, that is what makes this quite difficult. Another Widowmine. Gotta be very careful with those. Any good Widowmine connection right now? This is a weird... Oh, boy. What is going on here? Attempting to... Well, that is inconvenient. Well, that was very inconvenient. I hope that's just a one-time thing here. I mean, the rest of the game was going fine. Right now, it's going fine again as well. Huh. Never had that happen before. Alright, well, anyway. It looks like the players were just kind of continuing onwards there for a while as well. They weren't stuck for as long as I was, but probably still a little bit of a hiccup since that menu did pop up. Hopefully that is not something that will repeat itself. Because that is very odd. Although, to be fair, the Korean servers have been a little bit bothersome here and there sometimes, right? Just having little lag spikes, but that was a big one. Usually it just contained a little bit less more. Like little ones like those, or this one, you know? Oh well. Anyway, well, that would have been nice. Here we go. Widow mines are absolutely everywhere. I think this... okay, no, the Widow mines get shut down. Before most of it does manage to do the damage. Single Widow mine here being a little bit indecisive, but finds more drones. 19 more in total here. 64 drones have been slain in 11 minutes. 64 drones in 11 minutes. That is quite a handful. In comparison, we didn't lose a single SCV here for BYUN. Quite the distressing thoughts. Now, lurkers are coming up here, so they will be helping out quite tremendously in the future. But will it be too little? Will it be too late? That is kind of the question on my mind right now, especially since we only have 4 of the lurkers. And we have medevacs available for BYUN. He is just floating around, going left, right, center, middle, third, natural. Anywhere where he pleases. And with only 4 lurkers here, it's going to be very difficult to ensure the defenses of all of these locations. There we are. Do we have banelings as well coming up? It does not look like we do. So these zerglings, yeah, they are dealing with it, but it's very cost inefficient. And ultimately, Rogue here just buying himself a little bit extra time for the inevitable loss to kind of come in there, I would say. But GG is called. BYUN takes game number 1. So well played there by BYUN. We're going to see what map Rogue chooses to play on from here. Right? Got a lovely banana here. Sometimes. I don't like the stringy bits, but cheers. A little banana didn't hurt anyone. Not at any points, did it? Pillars. Pillars of gold. My god, I need to pay attention. Alright. Alright. There we are. Let's put Rogue in that player's seat. Don't want to be ruining this for him. Right? If we could avoid it. They're both ready. Let's just go. Let's just go in. Have a banana today, guys. Have a banana today. By the way, I'm not sure if there's any Koreans watching, but my god, you guys, on the banana department, you guys are light years ahead of us. You know, when you buy a banana in the Netherlands, you just get a whole bunch of them, right? The whole, how do you call this? Yeah, just a bunch of them, like a cluster, right? That all grow together on the same banana tree. That all ripens at around about the same time. So then, when you get yourself that banana, or all of the bananas, right? There's going to be like 3 days where all the bananas are perfect. And then they all turn black. But yeah, Koreans, you guys figured it out to add different types of bananas from different seasons so they... You know, every day you have a perfectly ripe banana. That is just perfect, man. Somebody really came up with a bright idea there. I'm not even sure why they're not doing it in the Netherlands either. Keep telling the grocery store clerks, but they just don't seem to be that interested. Alright, anyway. In the top right side. This is going to be awkward. Wait, where am I going to leave my banana? I should not have peeled it in its entirely. Hold on, let me put it back in the peel here. There we go. So I can actually move and operate the camera. Alright, there we are. Alright, wonderful. In the top right side, we got a man with 1 point on the board. He's the blue Terran player fighting for the Shopify Rebellion, BYUN. Now in the bottom left side, we have that red Zerg player fighting for the Dragon, Phoenix, and the Gamers. Had a bit of a rough time with his spawning pool first that previous game, but didn't really do much with it anyway, right? I thought he had a perfect opportunity to strike there, but didn't really do anything with it, and ultimately BYUN just kind of running away with the game afterwards. Anyway, this man is Rogue. Going for the hatchery first this time around. Philippine bananas is good as well. Oh, alright, I'll believe you. I mean, I know for a fact that we do not grow any bananas in the Netherlands. And if we do, that would be quite something. Alright. So, this second match interested me quite a bit overall, because I think we're going to have a good kind of feeling of how the rest of these games are potentially going to go, right? That first game, BYUN feeling very, very comfortable, feeling very good, just being a bit more on top of things this time around, but we have to remember as well that kind of the build orders there really working out for BYUN. At the start, I thought he was going to have a disadvantage because he was going to get himself into trouble with those early on Zerglings, but ultimately, those early on Zerglings, they were never made. The only thing that was there was the spawning pool. He even got speed, right? He even got speed right off the bat. And nothing happens with it. BYUN, I mean, he went command center first the spawning pool first. And then into 2 barracks. And then into a reactor. And he was fine against the spawning pool first, right? He didn't take any damage. And I think there already you are... You're not playing an optimal game, right? As Rogue, that is just not the situation you want to be in. Against someone like BYUN, it's going to be an uphill battle from that moment onwards, I would say. And in the second game, we're seeing Rogue being a bit more willing to go the hatchery route. So, a bit more committed to his own macro here. And to be fair, as well, the spawning pool first really felt like it was a way to try and avoid the proxy 2 racks. That was it, right? Well, yeah, oh well. Does the loser choose the map? Yes, they do. So, anyone that loses one of the maps, they will continue onwards onto the next with the map choice. So, I haven't really said anything about this, but we are having the Infernal Pre-Igniter finishing up here. Which is something you don't see every day. We don't have an armory either. There's a 3rd base coming up, but this is quite the interesting little play we're seeing here. Was that already a Hellion? Let me see. No, that was the Reaper. Alright. Bananas are grown in Wageningen? What the hell are they? Must not be really good bananas. Or just all in those glass warehouses. How do you call this? The heated up houses. The greenhouse, that's right. Alright, well, in come those Hellions. Rogue a bit surprised about the blue flame upgrade here, I would say. The Hellions all committed together in one big ball into the main base. I think maybe he could have tried to split them up a little bit, but that would have, of course, make the micro quite a bit more intense and a lot more difficult to do. He is going to deny a lot more mining this way, but is he going to get more drone kills this way? We'll have to wait and see. Already on the number of 10, which is quite respectable. Still has 3 Hellions remaining, but... oh, 3 more coming in as well into the 3rd base. Looks like more drones getting picked off right then and there. That brings us down to 18 lost so far, still floating around in the main base as well, as those drones finally are allowed to continue. But that was abysmal, man. 18 workers. You got to be quite happy about that trade right there, as BYUN, nothing to worry about after that one, I would say. Even gonna you know, just kind of casually string along a couple of creep tumors as well into the blue flames. Making great use of that early on upgrade, and now he will be making use of the same setup and get himself into the Widowmine composition here, it would seem. Control 2 sets of Hellions at the same time. It's very difficult to do. It really is. Very often if you do spread out your Hellions, what you'll most likely be doing is having one of the groups just kind of be on the hold position near the minerals. And then the other group kind of, you know, you control that one. You can just still kind of jump back and forth. But yeah, there would be one group that you're more so focused on. And then the other group where you're just kind of hoping that, you know, they do the damage because your opponent is busy trying to deal with the other group. Right? Alright, so third base here for BYUN. Comes on up. Will be plopped down onto the ground, and Rogue trying to grab himself a fourth base as well. I mean, how many workers in total? 18. I mean, it's not as many as we had previously being lost, right? You're still on a respectable 66 workers. I mean, is it a great number? Not really. But you know what? It's acceptable considering the margins that we're working within. Just gotta be careful not to take damage of this next incoming attack. I think this one is very crucial here for Rogue. If he manages to withhold this, kind of get a good connection with the Marines. With some banelings here. And that is gonna be all he needs. Oh. Nice dodge on the Widowmines here. Again, remember, we're not seeing those Mutalisks really coming up anytime soon in the production tab either. No Spire coming up. Is what I mean. Once again, more so committed to the +1/+1 melee. And Carapace for the ground. And are we going to see this transition into the Lurkers straight ahead once more? Last game I was anticipating the Ultralisk a bit more so, rather than Lurkers, but you know what, the Lurkers was a nice surprise, and I'm wondering to see how he kind of expects that to work, right? How is that transition supposed to work? It seems like the medevacts and such are just going to have an easy time flying around. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but just with Zerglings and Banelings, you can defend, don't get me wrong. It's definitely possible. But it's difficult. It's difficult when the medevacts can just pick up and leave at any point in time and you have nothing to say about it, right? Like, BYUN is just in full control, potentially full control. He can decide when he wants to have a battle and when he doesn't want to have a battle. And that advantage on its own, absolutely massive in a strategy game. Unless if there's just no battles you can ever win, then, you know, then it's still a good thing for your opponent. But otherwise, well, pretty darn bad. Getting a couple of Hydralisks here on the way, and the reason why I'm a bit more worried about the Lurk attack coming up in situations like these is that, at least in my own mind's eye, I see the Lurkers trying to run back and forth as the medevacts keep just dodging wherever they're set up. He's gonna need a couple of Lurkers in almost every single base to really defend against this type of drop play. It's not really possible to run back and forth between locations with Lurkers, as medevacts are just running around back and forth, you know? But anyway. Looks like he kind of managed to tamper with the momentum that BYUN was building up here. To be fair, right? Not that much damage being claimed anymore by the hand of BYUN. Seems like he's struggling a little bit, but still finds some opportunities here. Clearing out the creep, for example, is very useful. Whenever you can, you gotta start doing that type of stuff, of course. But yeah, with the base setup here for Rogue, it looks quite comfortable, actually, I have to say. Just having his army on 3 locations, if a drop passes by, he will try to get his queens either on the natural or the main base. That looks quite nicely defended. Still think that medevac drops could try to pick it apart. Still think it's a possibility, of course. But it's going to be difficult. It's going to need a lot of attention. There we go. Nice couple of banelings there. Getting shot down by BYUN. Got to be careful. Those are too many banelings now to shoot down before they really hurt. So he's going to back up from that location. Like the fact that BYUN already ending in siege tanks into his army composition here. He knows that that will be very important against the lurkers. Bit of a rough time with the first wave of banelings here, but setting back up again. How many 2 siege tanks are available here with a Widow Mine as well? BYUN having more army units coming in to support this location here. Let's take a look. 2 more siege tanks. They will be very, very useful. As BYUN starts poking away on the top left side as well. Sees that there's a respectable amount of Zerglings and banelings there. Doesn't quite want to tango with that just quite yet. As the 2 medevacs go into the main base, a lot of Zerglings are pushed away, are tried to be sent to deal with this. That might leave an opening for the lurkers to be shot down as well, but that is just too much firepower coming out for Rogue. And BYUN throws away almost his entire army here. Getting some success on the top left side. It looks like 10 workers do go down. But again, he loses quite a big portion of his army there as well. BYUN cannot afford to make trades like those consistently. And over again. That will, of course, make him lose this game. Oh, but that is not going to make him lose this game. Jeez, man. Okay, where was that other Widow Mine? What's that here? I'm not even sure. Nice bit of trading there. Look at the targeting and then dropping a single marine as well. Really, BYUN trying to get as much efficiency here as possible. He's doing a pretty good job with it so far. Rogue, of course, still 1 base ahead overall in the economy, so he's allowed to trade a bit disproportionately. It's not the worst thing. What's up, TY fan? And Mr. Cynical Death here as well. Very cool, very cool. What was the first map? The first map was Death Aura. Oh, alright. Decides to use the banelings for that one. This time around, we have a lot more marauders here to try and clean up those lurkers, and they are a lot more successful than those marines were. +3/+3 here, about to finish up. That's quite nice. Only +1 ranged weapons upgrading here for Rogue. Hope BYUN doesn't get himself stuck there in that bottom right side. Looks okay for the time being. That's a lot of overseers. That's a lot of overseers. Start pushing here now, BYUN. Come on. Come on, BYUN. A little bit slow with this attack here on the bottom right side. I'm not sure. Maybe he's missing the hotkey or something. No, there we go. Does have a lot of time now to respond to this, of course. Look at that army for Rogue already pretty much there now. So he's only going to get a single queen. Bit of a shame, but you know what? Of course, macro, very important thing as well. You gotta make sure that you don't just die at home because you're busy trying to get a couple of marauders 10 seconds earlier onto a hatchery than you would have normally had. Korean chat on an English stream? I mean, it is a Korean platform. It is entirely... And to be fair, we don't have a Korean stream for these, so... Makes sense. Ooh, that is some big damage coming in. More lurkers as well, coming in from the top. A little bit of a flank being set up here by Rogue, but he's being punished with those ghosts and, well, the siege tanks as well. Sniping away at those very expensive units. BYUN doing a great job so far, clearing up the entrenched Rogue. Doing a bit of a drop here as well on the bottom side, forcing Rogue to deal with this, as this hatchery will definitely fall. No attack on the left side this time around. Looks like Rogue trying to protect that for no reason at this moment. This is very awkward. Okay, still gets 2 drones. Or 3, actually. Not sure if he deserved those drone kills, but you know what? He got them. Oh, this could be a big fight. Did Rogue realize just how much Terran there actually is here? I think he does. It was a little bit of a gamble, I would say, to just run forwards, but it was very decisive. And it worked out for him in this moment. If the rest of the Terran army was already set up right behind those, right? The siege tank line, suddenly instead of just being 1 line, you have 2 or 3. That could be quite the ugly situation here for Rogue, but I'd say that was a good trade for him. Even getting a couple of those ghosts as well, trying to EMP, but they're all quite low on the HP. Or snipe, sorry, not EMP. So it's quite difficult for them to, of course, stay alive up until the point where they start really shooting. Quite a few command centers now being built here by BYUN. We are in a full-blown macro game. That could go either way here, honestly. The worker count's looking pretty solid for both these plays. We do have a better bank for Rogue. That's this one advantage. But then again, I mean, we would expect there to be a bank advantage here for Rogue. Seeing how he's to Zerk. He's going to be the player firstly mining out his side of the base as well. So he's kind of in charge of trying to force BYUN out of the base on his own side of the map. Very scrappy fights here. Very kind of... It's hard to say. It's kind of dirty fighting here, I want to say. Honestly. The Ghost trying to snipe away from a distance and then running away immediately as something comes in. The Lurkus is barely just killing off some of those Ghosts as well as they're running in. It's just... quite the tense situation. That is a abnormal amount of Lurkers though coming in right from behind on top of those bio units. BYUN knows if he lets his bio get hit by the Lurker ball like that, that will just be everything gone instantly. But manages to set up fairly well, not too far away. Making it more difficult for Rogue to kind of run in with those Lurkers here on the backside of that army. Rogue's still going to try to commit here though. Is moving forwards. Believes in the power of those Lurkers. And looks like his faith is going to be rewarded here. All the siege tanks now are gone. 2 more coming up. But BYUN, he is starting to sweat as this army of Rogue is slowly getting closer and closer. But... yeah, I mean, the army units that BYUN would use to kind of get rid of that army of Rogue. Not really here anymore, right? We have the Marauders, but the Marauders only affect us up until a certain point in time. As soon as Marauders get one shot, they become quite useless as well. Against Lurkers. You really do need those Liberators. You need the Ghosts. You need the Siege Tank. Anything that's long range. Maybe even Banshees at this point in time. I would not be too upset about. Although, you know what, the transition that you would need to do before you get the Banshees is a bit much. Same could be said for something such as battle cruisers or something like that, of course, but also then it's an easy transition for Rogue to make, to just plop down a Spire and get himself a lot of Corruptors. I don't know, but anyway, BYUN here, he is looking to try and get rid of all those Lurkers using his ground forces here. Overlord spread and creep a little bit too slowly. Will not be able to deny that base for very much longer. It looks like, yeah, Rogue is just going to send 2 Lurkers to each of these bases. Oh, actually, make that 3. I mean, he has enough, doesn't he? So that should be fine. BYUN also coming across this side of the map. He knows that his bases were spotted, so tries to get some pressure going. Pretty cool to see. 6 Lurkers here, all attacking the planetary fortress at once. They're not targeting down the SCVs, so the SCVs are having an alright time with the repair. Looks like that is still going to go down, though. What do we have happening kind of over here? This place is under siege. The real bio army of BYUN here gets a base. He lost the planetary fortress due to the lurkers there as well. Needs to be careful. Banglings can do quite nicely against this bio army that is now 1 HP. Or well, sharing a singular HP point altogether. Lurkers managed to take out that other planetary fortress also. The location on the right side still in a bit of disarray. But BYUN is gaining ground slowly. The Zerglings and the Hydras, as soon as they start pushing, as soon as those Lurkers jump out of the ground and suddenly start just rushing towards you, that's the moment where we will see whether or not Rogue did manage to salvage up enough to really break the frontier. He's losing all of his Lurkers. He doesn't have any overseers anymore. So he decides to pull the trigger and just kind of go for it. But the entrenched Terran here is too heavily fortified. We'll be able to shut it down. And we'll be able to just start pushing back into the Zerg territory straight afterwards. And there's not much that Rogue can do about it anymore at this point in time. 44 army supply versus 97. And, yeah, have it. The GG is called. BYUN taking game number 2 as well. Setting himself up with a 2-0 so far. Rogue having a pretty good time overall during some parts of the game. But slowly but surely just getting out-controlled, right? Just didn't have the real, how do you call this, engagement that he was looking for there, I suppose. The benefit of this is that he is going to have himself another map choice, so another time where he will have himself the ability to just pick whatever map he wants to, except for Pillars of Gold and Death Aura, of course. Alright. BYUN looking solid. Yeah, he's looking really good right now. Alright, both players are ready. We're going to get that started as well. Pretty good. Alright. Moving on forwards. Oh. Itchy shoulder. The itchy shoulder. It's not as bad as an itchy eyeball. That would be worse. Or like when the inside of your mouth is itchy. Oh my god, that is horrible. Oh man, I hate that stuff. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, oh, how do you scratch that, man? It's impossible. You need to use your tongue, and your tongue really doesn't have that many hard surface areas. Or kind of like edges where you can scrape your, well, you know what I mean. It's hard to do. Anyway, in the top right side of the map, we have ourselves a blue Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. He is, he's BYUN. He's BYUN. In the bottom left side, we have ourselves a red Zerg player fighting for the Dragon Phoenix Gamer. He's Rogue. He is Rogue. Right there. There you go. Okay. What are we doing? What are we doing, boys? What are you up to? Is that going to be a Reaper right there? It could be. It could be. But then again, it's also still BYUN. So it could be just a command center. Who knows? Who knows at this point in time, right? I would assume it's going to be a Reaper or a Marine, but it could be a reactor as well with another barracks, right? That is just, I mean, normally I would know these things, right? I would see the refinery, I'd see the barracks, and then I'd be like, aha, it's a Reaper fast expanding. Now, thanks to BYUN, it's just all hazy. You just don't know anymore. I thought we figured out the start of StarCraft 2 at least, but apparently not even that. That's BYUN just kind of proving us all wrong. Doing whatever the hell he wants to. Getting away with it. Factory and a barracks here. Also the command center, of course. Don't forget about that one. Rogue. What is Rogue up to? A couple of Zerglings, Queens. That's about it. Third base, most likely, will be made right there. There we are. bit surprised it did not go for the other third base. Maybe anticipating a Reaper there or something like that. Did he kill the Reaper? What happened there? He did have oh no, wait, he cancelled the Reaper. He cancelled the Reaper, alright. Went for the Marine instead. Another command center now tuning itself into the orbital. Ooh, this could be interesting. The starport's right bang next to a tech lab right there. Could provide a bit of Banshee firepower. Haven't really seen those just quite yet out of BYUN, so it would be cool to see those also make an appearance in the best of 9. Also, I'm very much hoping that we do not get ourselves a 5-0 here in this situation. But with 2 games going into BYUN's favor, I don't know, man. I don't know. Rogue, he's pretty good, but I mean, the Lurker kind of play from the Zerglings and the Banelings, it just doesn't seem to be gaining a lot of ground for him. And the response for BYUN, I have to say, was very well executed. Those ghosts continuously sniping, those liberators continuously moving forward, trying to make life difficult for those lurkers, doing a really good job with it. I honestly thought that Rogue would be able to at least get, you know, two maps here. At least. I thought that was the minimum. And that could still happen, I suppose. Maybe a 5-1, right? I could see that happen still as well, but a 5-0, I don't know. I just really did not see that happen here. And to be fair, we're still quite far removed from that situation, of course. I mean, we have seen some crazy comebacks before in StarCraft 2. Oh, my bad. Sorry, guys. There's apparently 6 kills in this Banshee already. Make that 7. Make that 8. Hold up. Hold the phone. That is 9 right there. Alright. Calm down, Mr. Banshee. Mrs. Banshee. Sorry, that is clearly a woman inside of that thing. Hopefully she will not listen to the broadcast at some point in the future. 10 workers right there. That is quite respectable. Still has another Banshee right here, trying to make it live quite horrible for those drones. I just want to be happy little extractors. That's all they care for. So he was going to go for the extract. Ooh, he gets himself out of there. Very nice. 5 HP remaining, but does survive. That's the main thing. Behind this, we're going to have a whole truckload of Marines. Maybe a couple of truckloads of Marines here. And we'll be bringing along a truck as well. The siege truck. It's just fun to say, isn't it? The siege truck. The siege mobile will be coming in as a couple of medevacs there as well. Should be helping out quite nicely. The heal bus and the blast bus. I thought I was going to get aggressive with these Marine numbers, but so far is just kind of committed to staying at home. Where are those 2 medevacs, actually? Right, if he is going to move out, it will be right here, right now, with these 2 medevacs. He has the Banshee going back across as well. It would be a nice way to have a bit of a distraction with the Banshee, and then use that opportunity here to move your army into a position elsewhere, right? Force the Queens to be, like, on the natural base, and in between the 3rd base, kind of here. Maybe even over here, right, if you could. And then all of a sudden, if you have your army approaching, it could be quite difficult. Luckily for Rogue here, he does have himself an enormous amount of creep spread, so will not be caught off guard that quickly. He's doing a really good job with his changelings as well. I think we have to put that out there as well. It's very important for the Zerg to know where his opponent is coming from, so he can actually defend against it, right? Or go for the counterattacks. Right now, with this changeling right here, he knows, alright, not going to be able to do a counterattack right away. As soon as that army moves out, all these Zerglings and a couple of Banelings do have an opportunity to just kind of run in here. Alright, this is a very awkward battle. Oh, Rogue. Finding a couple of those siege tanks and jumping on the opportunity to get rid of them. I don't think it was a good trade, but ultimately I do think it's a good thing that he decided to stick with it. Just get rid of them, even though they weren't as alone as they thought initially. Alright, still think that's okay. As long as they are gone and you don't lose a lot of Banelings, I think that is alright. Now we only have the 2 siege tanks right here. They are unsieged. Zerglings already on top of one of them. Oh wait, that is a third one. Targeting down Banelings here as best as he can. Reasonable connections on those little green buggers, but a lot of Marines still remain as well. There's more Banelings though coming on up. And that is all she wrote for this attack. A proper defense being managed here by Rogue. Let's take a look at the units. Lost tab. And then we see suddenly, you know what? BYUN doing pretty darn good in that fight as well. BYUN, I mean, he is a Terran famous for not really having as many SCVs at all times as a lot of these other Terrans. But the way that he trades is so incredibly cost efficient that he can allow himself to get that bigger army. It makes it more difficult for him to reinforce. But because he's so on top of his control and just trading efficiently, right, he doesn't need to have that same ability to replenish his forces. It really is almost like a superpower here for BYUN, I would say, right? If you were to describe the main assets, the main benefits, playstyles for certain players, I think that would be a really big one for BYUN. And then you have someone as innovation, for example, right? Maybe Cure as well. And they'll be a lot more straightforward with the way they approach the macro, though. Less focus, of course, on the extremely efficient trading, and more so on something that I personally think you may have more control over, which is just the macro, of course. Just making sure that the macro is better than that of your opponent, and voila. Ooh. Oh. BYUN on holiday here. Checking out the surrounding areas of the Zerg neighborhood. Alright, 3 workers. Those 2 medevacts on the bottom right side still kind of sitting there as well. Eh? I guess there's enough defense there. Alright, fair enough. Creep spread is slowly starting to get worrisome here, I would say. 1 or 2 more lines of creep here being spread out towards BYUN, and that is going to be a very, very tight area for BYUN to work with. He will not have a lot of wiggle room. He will have a lot of strangle room, though. Rooms where he will get strangled by Zerglings, Banelings, Ultralisk soldiers running around consistently. Ultralisk coming up as well. I have to say, if there's any game that Rogue wins, I think it should be this one. Although BYUN not really having taken that much damage himself yet either. It's just that he only lost 15 workers at the 11-minute mark, not 64, you know. So yeah, Rogue definitely finding himself a little bit of a groove here. Has a really good shot at taking this game, I would say. Needs to ensure, once again, right, that BYUN will not be able to take every single base on his side of the map. Seeing these units lost numbers, they make you worry a little bit if that were to happen. Alright, one little command center. Flying over to the, what is it, the 3 o'clock. Blammo. Of course, does get spotted by the Overseers and the Overlords here. I like the position of that Overseer, actually, very much. I think it was set up so that the Orbital would not be able to see it. I think. At least I hope it was. I would assume that was the idea there. I guess the sensor tower makes it a bit more difficult not to be seen. Alright, big wraparound here for Rogue does commit quite heavily. A lot of siege tanks here out in the front, but a lot more still in the back remain as well. Banelings, the true powerhouse unit of the Zerg here, trying to connect onto the bio, but not really finding his way in. The Zerglings barely, not enough to blow up that planetary fortress, and BYUN, he lives for another day. But, I mean, already on that production tab, we see 78 Zerglings, 5 Ultralisk coming up. Rogue instantly remaxed. He does have that better economy for the time being. He did manage to get a better bank set up as well. And now with a lot of those siege tanks out of commission, this could become a lot more difficult for BYUN to hold here. If Rogue manages to strike quickly enough. Once again, Zerglings finding themselves a good bit of an opportunity. Might not be for the longest amount of time, but you know what, still better than nothing perhaps. Although he did lose a lot of those Zerglings there, didn't he? Well, how many really, actually? Not, yeah, okay. Looking at the supply, it does not seem to be that many. Alright. A Rogue here. Oh, man. This is one of those really tough calls to make. Personally, I'm starting to expect that he might be overmaking Banelings. Can you overmake Banelings? I mean, not often. Okay, does get rid of the planetary. Very nice, alright. Doesn't commit the Banelings onto the planetary. I think that's really good. Having too many Banelings becomes only a problem if you don't use them efficiently, right? We don't have that many Marauders here for BYUN. He's just purely focused on making more Ghosts instead of Marauders, and that has me a little bit surprised. The Ghosts still not as efficient as Marauders, of course, against those, well, at least at tanking damage from either Banelings or Ultralisk. Of course, those Ghosts are a lot better at dealing with the Ultralisk. The snipe attack will help out tremendously there, but I mean, still, it has me a little bit concerned. More siege tanks coming up. There is the cloak for the Ghosts. BYUN about to be maxed out again here as well. Both players managing to reach the 200 supply cap. And looks like that is going to be once again the ticket for Rogue, or the go signal. The traffic light is green and he will just bombard the front of BYUN's fortress here with Zerg units. Is that the way to do things here? I'm not entirely certain, especially considering now that he's just running away, losing more Ultralisk as those snipes of the Ghosts mercilessly. We'll be able to deal with those quite efficiently, of course, and without a real any realistic expectations for those Ultralists to be able to get on top of those Ghosts there. Quite the nasty occurrence. Zerglings trying to open up the front door a little bit more, so there's more rocks over here as well. And these tiny little things, they do definitely matter in the grand scheme of things. If you're a Zerg player, right, and you're consistently just throwing your army into the Terran army, hoping you're gonna crack him at some point, you should definitely try to get rid of some rocks as well. And I think we can make a fair case, perhaps, that wouldn't it be more beneficial for Rogue to push on the left side here? I know this base is almost mined out. Let me actually take a look, which is, well, I would have liked it better if he did that a lot earlier. Now it really is just these two bases here. Okay, well, anyway, we go forwards once again. The Banelings and Ultralisk having a rough time squeezing in between the corners there. But the Ghosts, they are trapped. The Ghosts are trapped. A lot of them go down. The planetary fortress goes down. The Ultralisk now still going around a little bit here, taking out some of the siege tanks. Doing a good job with that. We have this new base in the top left side being shot down by our Terran player right now. Rogue trying to get every unit that he can take out. Not bad at all. 6 workers for Rogue do go down, and we can see he's struggling a little bit here with his economy. Not that much remaining anymore, mining-wise, on the Zerg map of things. BYUN, of course, not really mining that much either anymore. He still has this one very, very luscious base, but the other one, well, that did just get destroyed. No command center nearby to fly over. Maybe could have done his planetary, or the main base. Still has another one over here as well. So could have kind of get things going that way. But I think this is the main deal right here. I think this is, well, either Rogue keeps this base or Rogue denies these 2 bases of BYUN. He is going to go for the denial. That is his attempt. It does not look like he has the unit count to make this work, but he's getting a lot of SCV kills here, so hold up, guys. That might still work out as well. BYUN scrapped a force supply here as well. He's having a rough time at it. 23 workers, a lot of siege tanks there going down as well. Might still be enough here for Rogue to make something work, some sort of a magic. He did lose that hatchery in the top left side, though. That is a bit heartbreaking. A lot of mules dropping from the sky. Rogue manages to come in very shortly here. Once again, shot down 6 mules worth of mining here. And that could be it already. There's 4 siege tanks, 3 ghost, and only 2 marines. Might be enough for just the zerglings here. Although there is more siege tanks, more and more siege tanks coming in. Alright, here we are, the zerglings on top of those. Look at the amount of mules that are there right now. If they all go down, that is an incredible amount of damage. And yeah, that just is. GG is called. BYUN, there's no way he's ever going to make a comeback from that one. Rogue takes game number 3. Very well played there by our Zerg from the Dragon Phoenix Gamers. Alright. Alright. Wonderfully done. That means BYUN gonna get himself the first map pick here. You still can choose between Lightshade, Juggernaut, Submarine. Submarine will be the choice. Not that surprising, I have to say. No 5-0, that's right. That's right. We managed to avoid the least amount of games being played. Alright. Rogue asking for a little moment here. And yeah, the loser does pick the map. So we start off with the map pick of the caster, which is me. We started off with Defora. I thought that would be a fun one to kick things off with. And then afterwards, it's just loser picks the map. There's also this thing where, of course, there's potentially 9 games and only 7 maps available in the ladder pool right now. After game number 7, the last 2 maps, you'll be able to pick whatever map you want again, right? So the entire map pool gets refreshed, so you can choose what you want in that situation. Alright, Rogue, still asking for a little bit of a moment here. I'm not entirely certain. Probably gone to the bathroom or something like that is what I would imagine. A little small break. That's all fine, that's all fine. Quite nice to see Rogue being able to get himself in there, right? Get himself on the board, set himself up. And that especially before it becomes a 3-0 situation. I think that is very important. Either you have a 1 map difference or a 3 map difference, right? That is just on your own mental space an entirely different thing. I can try making them play on Nautilus. The Nautilus. Alright. Maybe. Maybe next time. Alright, they're both ready. Let's give them the good luck. Good luck. Have fun, have fun. As both players now realizing that they are, of course, capable of winning. Where are you casting right now? I am in the... where should we be right now? Well, I'm a full-fledged, full-blooded American, clearly. And I live in Texas, hence the accents. And also, I have a very big barbecue outside in the backyard, which I use as my main hub for casting. I don't have a green screen. This is the actual inside of the barbecue. Alright. Here we are. 2 games versus 1 game. In the top left side, we have ourselves a blue Terran player fighting for the Shopify Rebellion. It is BYUN. There you go. Top left side. There you have him. I think I already mentioned that. But what I haven't mentioned, in the bottom right side, we have a red Zerg player fighting for the Dragon Phoenix Gamers. He is Roach. Alright. You should see it kicks. Is there a new map pool? I don't think there is, good sir. Not yet. No, there are some tournaments that are doing new map pools themselves, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I wouldn't be too opposed to... Well, it would be a bit of a bummer to have, like, the tournaments and the overall ladder not be on the same maps again, right? That would be a bit of a shame, I would say, but... I mean, we've had that before in the past, right? And we weren't that upset about it. It was okay. It was manageable. It's still a little bit, you know, unfortunate, but to be fair, at the same time... At least to me, it felt like extra special seeing these other maps in these tournaments, right? It felt like there was more variety in a sense. And then when I were to play on the other overall ladder maps, of course I would not be able to exactly do the strategies that I saw in the GSL or something, but would I kind of be able to mimic it in a sense, right? And try to implement it on a different map. And I don't know, that was... kind of part of the fun as well, just not completely copying somebody's stuff, but kind of being like, alright, well, if it works on a map like this, then how does it work on a map like this? Where are the differences? How can I incorporate maybe potential benefits or downsides of this map in comparison to where I saw it being played on? I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but maybe that's just me. I think it's going to have some no on ladder so long as there is some on ladder. Yeah, I think that is one of the things, right? But then again, at the same time, I don't see why there's the need for new maps as well. When we still have a lot of really good maps, right? We have maps from the past that would theoretically work quite well. Maybe they need to be updated a little bit because of all the updates that did happen. Right, we like to say we never got updated, but there has still been updates. Anyway. Couple of Zerglings there coming in quick for Rogue, but not really finding much, of course. The Hellions already available. Single medevac with a bunch of Marines here ready to start waging war across the map as the Hellions lurking about, trying to find the creep tumors. The low live creep tumors. Trying not to get themselves burned to death. I would say it's difficult to burn something mainly consisting out of liquids to death, but it is possible. Liquids, they do boil, after all. Armory coming in. Excuse me. Alright. With the armory coming in here and the Marines with the medevac still alive, I would assume we're going to see quite a bit of a push here coming out. Even some Banshees being added in as well with the cloak. So maybe the idea here is have the Hellions and the Marines come in first, transform them into Hellbats, and get the aggression going, get all the queens assembled in one location, right? You don't mess around against this type of stuff. You're going to bring all your queens, and at that moment in time, the Banshee suddenly arrives at the natural, or the main base, right? As all the queens have left the area. Could be pretty good. Will it work out? Let's wait and see. Is Rogue gonna catch up on this? I mean, he did have a Zergling here. I think the Zergling may have been able to spot that Banshee floating on by. Although we do not see any extra spore crawlers or anything of the sorts being added in either. The Banshee, is it actually just gonna commit together with the Hellbats? That would be a surprise to me. No, right, no, it's gonna send them off elsewhere. And it looks like those Banshees did get spotted here, as we have spore crawlers coming up. Already has a spore crawler in the third and the natural as well. Banshees not getting to do anything here. Rogue as solid as a rock. As solid as a rogue. Doesn't really work. Anyway. Holding on here magnificently. He still has a 20 drone lead as well. He's going to be able to start up his fourth base. A little bit of a delay there due to BYUN figuring out that, you know, most likely Rogue will be starting to take a fourth base here. Ooh, Bailings! Didn't quite get there. Still gets 2 Hellbats, right? The double Banshee. Suddenly, they are still managing to do a little bit of work here. Get a creep tumor for drones as well. I say creep tumor, I mean creep extractor. Or gas extractor from the gas tumor. That's what they call it. Probably not. It's quite a big push here, actually. Is this going to start getting some drone kills? Hold up. It's already done quite a number onto the queens, but the queens should still be enough to clean this, right? Right? Where's the transfuse? A couple of transfusions not quite managing to land. There we go. Does kind of wake up there in the end and ensures that he doesn't lose anything else. Well done indeed. Worker account still quite heavily in favor for our little Zerg player here. BYUN losing a lot of Marines due to the Zerglings getting an amazing surround here. Ooh, that is rough. Losing more Marines due to the Zerglings and even a couple of SCVs as well. I have to say, guys, I'm starting to feel this for Rogue. I think we may get ourselves in a 2-2 situation. I mean, this is just a rough spot for BYUN to be in. The really good thing here is, I suppose, that we still don't have a fourth base for Rogue. That could have been made a couple of minutes ago. That could have been a lot further down the track. And that could provide BYUN perhaps with a bit of an opportunity here later down the line. Because these extra bases are going to take a long while before they add any real benefit to Rogue. And otherwise, it would be around this moment already, I would say, where they start gaining their value, right? If we had that first drone that got killed off by the Hellbats and the Marines here become an actual hatchery, man, that would have already pretty much paid for itself twice, right? Paid for itself twice and then some. We do have Mutalisk, right? This is the first time we see Rogue going for the Mutalisk versus his opponents here. Will it pay off? That's the question on my mind. BYUN may not be able to do that many medevac pushes without any easy way out of there. Good target fire onto the Banelings with the siege tanks. There we are. Now allows the Marines to kind of stay alive here for a while as well. Look at that. Lovely stuff. And this is not a fight you want to take as Rogue anymore. Getting a bit of overconfidence in his ability to take out those Marines. Losing a lot of Banelings. Losing a lot of Mutalisk as well, I want to say. 5 of them in total. Very solid stuff. Now this base is under a bit of siege. And more things for BYUN are coming across. Did Rogue make a mistake going for the Mutalisk attack here? And then trying to go for the fights? I think he may have. Even without the Widow Mines here, it looks like BYUN managed to just trade so efficiently against the Zerg that perhaps this could just be it right now. BYUN moving in. The Baneling's not quite ready just yet. There's nothing else. Okay, that's a big stim though. The Marines entirely on the orange. And that is going to be enough for them to be cleaned up, it seems. Alright, so BYUN has to back up. That was quite the scary situation there for a moment for Rogue, but grabbing enough of those Banelings together where he did manage to force BYUN on the retreat, and then it was when the Mutalisk just managed to do enough damage together with the Zerglings as well to whittle down the numbers and get the train rolling down his direction. Another hatchery is that is still going around. BYUN neglecting to take that down as he was attempting to push into the third base. Take both of them down at the same time. Always preferable, of course, but once again puts Rogue in a pretty good position, right? In a comfortable one, at least. Top side might get pressured quite heavily here. But I think Rogue should have everything under control. Oh, careful. Man, that is so scary. That is so scary. They do not have drilling claws. Okay, that's less scary then. Just a ball of widow mines and then trying to snipe them down with your Mutalisk. Oh god, that is scary. It's like, well, those 4 widow mines, they will kill all your Mutalisk, especially if there's a Thor shooting you at the same time. Alright, in we go. There's a lot of Zerglings here trying to set off the initial widow mines. It looks like they're doing a good job, and there's more than enough for Rogue to absolutely crush. Now, there is still more Marines coming in. The reinforcements do seem to be strong enough here. Apparently, BYUN keeping a little bit back at home in case of a counter-attack, which is quite the likely situation when you are facing, of course, the Ling Bane Mutalisk army composition. And we keep going back and forth here, guys. We just keep going back and forth like a table tennis match. These guys passing along momentum to one another over and over again. Both trying to expand to the next logical location. Rogue, from this point onwards, is going to have to look towards BYUN's side of the map if he does want to take more bases. So that is very important, of course. Let's see how the trading has been going. Yep, definitely in favor for BYUN, as is per usual. So once again, Rogue is the player that will need to try and take away one of these bases here from BYUN. Preferably without losing any of his own bases, of course. Ooh, Rogue! Looks like he may have decided to start focusing on the counterattack strategy here a bit more. Finding himself quite a few SCV kills with all of that. BYUN still poking in, well, attempting to poke into the 6 o'clock here for Rogue. But Rogue there just with a little bit too much. Ooh, big load up into the Medevacs as the Mutalisk arrive at that exact time. Here we go, Planetary Fortress no longer meant for this world, but no, okay, Rogue does just move away. No longer has any Banelings, and besides that, it's not worth losing that amount of army units when there is only a single planetary to be gained. Although he is coming back across, knows that the it's still out there. I suppose it is fully repaired now. It's a bit of a shame, but as the base here, that is still a bit exposed, so we'll find a couple of those SCVs Zerglings manage to escape as the Mutalisks go straight for the main base and are targeting down the add-ons quite heavily right now. Managed to get quite a fair bit. As BYUN took out the base in the bottom side, it looks like he is coming across right now in the top right side, looking to do the same thing here. And once again, momentum is just shifting back and forth between these two players. For a moment there, it looked like Rogue was able to start really punishing BYUN. But it looks like BYUN has found himself with the more superior army. And yeah, there's just no way those Mutalisks are going to be able to deal with this amount of Marines here. And this amount of medevacs as well supporting them. More just streaming across the map. The Thor's a little bit distracted by the Overlords. And that's actually helping out Rogue. Rogue, though, not being able to get both his Ultralisks on top of the bio during all of that. And GG is called. BYUN takes another game. Right there. Easy peasy. That's a 3-1 situation now in favor for BYUN. Very well played. Let's see what map is going to be chosen here. It's Juggernaut by Mr. Rogue. Juggernaut by Mr. Rogue. Let's see where that is, what that is going to bring along for us. It's quite cold here. I need to install some heating in this, this barbecue. Or just light a fire, right? I suppose. Alright, both players ready. Continuing onwards. Game number, where the hell are we in this series? I think it's game number 5. Yeah, it's game number 5, guys. Is it? It is. It is. Yeah, 5. Here we go. Blemmo and a Blemmo. In the top right side, we have ourselves a blue Terran player fighting for the Shopify Rebellion. BYUN. Bottom left side, we got ourselves a red Zerg player fighting for the Dragon Phoenix and all the gamers around the world. He is Rogue. Rogue. Or Rouge, as they would call him. The Red Rogue. Little Red Riding Rogue. He's in trouble right here. Little Red Riding Rogue. Little Red Riding... Isn't it Hood? Little Red Riding Hood? But then, what is it? She really called the Little Red Riding Hood? Because I don't recall ever seeing her ride anything. In at least the books that I was reading about the Little Red Riding Hood. Unless if the hood was riding on her head. We can consider that, I suppose. It's not really the way I want to try and tweak that, but anyway. What's happening here? What is happening here? Well, it's, let me tell you right away. We're having, once again, BYUN kind of wild here. BYUN on drugs. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, he likes to just do command center first, guys. So what can I say? I mean, it's working out for him. So I mean, let's not debate it too much here, shall we? Even won with this against the spawning pool first. So, I mean, if it works against the spawning pool first, you're gonna be safe against anything. Unless the spawning pool first actually does something, of course. Alright. Yeah, alright. What are we doing here? Tech lab and reactor, as is per usual. As is per usual. So it will be the double medevac drop, I would say, with Stim. Judging from the situation that we're seeing develop here. That is kind of my guess. You feel like BYUN always has two ways to win, and Rogue only one. BYUN can win by killing workers early or building army later. Rogue can only win by keeping workers and building army at the same time. I mean, not entirely true, right? Zerg could also try to do something aggressive. I mean, there are these Nidus Worm pushes with queens. There's bailing attacks. There's definitely possibilities there, but I guess I can kind of see your points. But maybe that is just the playstyle of the two races, right? Very micro-intensive for the Terran. They have these very useful at harassment-style units. And then it's up to the Zerg to kind of defend against this, right? At the same time, though, I mean, if the Terran throws away too many minerals trying to do the offensive against the drones, that's going to lose him the game as well, so I mean, the Zerg has a way to win by defending the offensive very easily, as well as being able to win by just being aggressive later on. Maybe that is a too simplistic type of analysis I put down there. I'm not entirely certain. Anyway, we are once more having the Marine with the Hellbat push coming across here, so forget about that double. Oh my god, these Zerglings are getting us around. My good heavens, that is Marines without combat shields. If they did have combat shields, I'm not entirely certain that would have gone that way, but without the Hellbats there to support the Marines, that was a beautiful strike there by Rogue. Incredibly smart, actually. What insights from this player to realize this build is coming, make a bunch of Zerglings to prepare for it, and then have the Zerglings just in the middle of the map realizing that those Hellions will be coming at a later point in time, and those Marines, they are going to be lonesome in the middle of the map. Takes them out, and wow, Rogue, what a play. Very well done. It shuts down that offensive like that. It's no one else's business. Very well done. Alright, BYUN now having to come up with a plan B here, I assume. Will be the Widow Mines in a third base. Proper way, but again, I mean, this is giving me some game number 3 vibes here. Already. BYUN still has a good opportunity, of course, to try and make something work here, but Yeesh. What's this? What is that? What damage will be achieved over here? Probably not too much. 3 work? No, not a single one. Alright. Bit sad, ain't it? Bit sad indeed. Gets a couple of Zerglings. At least something. Another drop filled with Widow Mines this time around. When in doubt, go Widow Mines. It's a good bet, right? It's a good comeback mechanic, in a sense. It's a hard one to pull off, I suppose, against somebody of the caliber of Rogue, who is already set up with the defense here perfectly. Zergling's got to be careful as well. Don't want to lose them unnecessarily for this time period, right? He wants to keep those Zerglings alive, and then, well, he could decide whether he wants to just drone up massively or if he wants to try to go for a counter-attack, seeing how BYUN's own offensive just didn't work out at all. Theoretically, that should put Rogue in a pretty demanding leading position here, and just has more income than he would normally have as opposed to his opponent, and that momentum he's going to try to utilize in a big battering ram kind of fashion. Making a lot of roaches here, Zerglings, everything he can assemble. Has the +1/+1 coming in as well. And that should be enough. We got the speed zone there as well, of course, helping those roaches get on top of the targets that they need to hit. Single Zergling here, kind of having a look around, seeing that there's not really that much. 30, well, almost 40, more than 40 army supply now leading. About 30 army supply leading for Rogue. We're going a bit back and forth. One Widowmine on that ramp area, still being quite a bit successful. Marines trying to find a way to start trading as efficiently as possible against these Ravagers and Roaches. He finds nice out-clusters of these units, as well as the Widowmine drops, actually. Finding a lot of value there. 15 drones go down. The Roach is still going at it, though. 100 army supply versus 59 right now. Rogue needs to keep everything together, though. I feel like he's... Oh, you know what? He's winning against those Marines. That is good. As long as he doesn't let the Roaches and the Ravagers get shot down one by one, I think that should be his victory right here. Gotta watch out for those Widowmines. Oh, the Widowmine hitting the SCVs massively, and Rogue just keeps pushing. That's gotta be it, guys. GG is called. 43 workers just like that. Rogue taking himself another game here. And once again, bringing the series a little bit closer. And now we're 3-2. 3-2. This is the series that I was kind of anticipating. So which maps do we still have to be chosen from? I believe... Let me think this through, actually. Which maps do we still have? Lightshade and Oxide? Are those the two? I think they are. Oh, no, wait. Lightshade and Romanticide. Romanticide is chosen here by BYUN. Okay. Alright, both ready. Once again, we're going to start up game number 6 here in a short moment. I have a little bit of a cold. I have water. Excuse me. Trying to mute my mic whenever it gets too bad. It's all good, buddy. We'll be alright. Hopefully it just adds a bit of rasp to the entire cast. Hopefully that will be okay. Oh, we just gave BYUN 9 points. That's against regulations. Oh god, we're gonna get... Wait. We're gonna get, you know, stricken from the platform for trying to cheat the system. Not today, boys. Not today. In the bottom right side, we have a blue Terran player fighting for the Shopify Rebellion. He's BYUN. Bottom left, sorry, not the bottom left, the top left side. Dear golly jeepers. We have ourselves a red Zerg player fighting for the Dragon, the Phoenix, and the Gamers. Mr. Rogue. Oh, what was that? Bit of a misclick. Good sir. He's also going for the spawn, or the extractor trick here, I would assume. No, he's gonna just... Is he actually gonna start mining off of 2 extractors here? Yeah. And the Roach one. Okay. Well, guys, I hope you had fun with this game. Hope you guys had fun on Romanticide. Looks like we're not going to stick around here for very much longer. I mean, BYUN, to be fair, not doing the command center first builds here this time around. Nor the double barracks afterwards with an extract... Oh, sorry, with the reactor and the tac lab as well. Oh, that was a little burp. Apologies. My burp just echoed throughout the halls of Korea. My bad. Not my intention. Alright. Factory. As BYUN. You know what? Hoping that we're going to get a siege tank or something out of that. Most likely won't be the case. Looks like we're just going to get ourselves a couple of Hellions here. And Hellions, famous for not being all that great against Roaches. Not being all that great against Roaches. How will they do? Not entirely certain. But to be fair, I mean, it would be an understatement to say the amount of times I've seen BYUN be in these types of situations where he's not scouting, he's going for an expansion, and he's being as heavily all-in as his opponent could even attempt to all-in, right? And BYUN just holds. He just holds somehow, some way. I'm not entirely certain if that's going to be the case here. Losing that first Marine, already a really bad sign here, actually. It kind of makes me wonder if it's just too little too late already. Now, one Marine may not seem like a lot, but every unit matters so incredibly much right now. There we go. The refugees are gaining access here. We're seeing Rogue still making more and more units. This is not just a slight bit of pressure where behind he's making a hatchery. No, sir. He is just going all guns blazing. He is coming in here trying to get as much destruction as possible, or he is going to tap out himself. Oh, good hits with the biles right there, and there it is. GG is called. Nothing you can really do anymore as BYUN, as Rogue ties up the show and brings it into a 3-3 situation here. Pretty solid, pretty solid. And that is going to be a game number 7. A game number 7. Now, unfortunately for BYUN, of course, losing game number 6 is always the worst because you don't get to choose the map anymore. Seeing as there's only one map remaining, which is Lightshade, the map that neither of these players apparently really wanted to play on. But I don't think that Rogue is all too upset about it, seeing how he is utilizing those roaches right now. I mean, personally, I'm kind of expecting him to go for the roach attack on this map as well. To be fair, if I'm expecting it, BYUN probably is expecting it as well. And to be fair, Rogue probably is expecting BYUN to expect it. So, but then again, maybe because of all of that, they're going to go reverse psychology, and then suddenly we'll have that situation go out anyway, right? That's a little bit of the roll of the dice, the luck that is involved with StarCraft 2, together with the skill to execute it. Alright, a little bit easier with the scoreboard this time around. We are 3-3, tied up. And looking to, well, have somebody take the lead here. Set himself up with match point as the first contester of the two. In the top left side, we have ourselves a blue Terran player fighting for the Shopify Rebellion. Is BYUN. Bottom right side, we got ourselves a Dragon Phoenix Gamer. He's the red Zerg. Rogue. Lovely. Isn't he lovely? Isn't he, Rogue? So full. Right, enough karaoke. It's not really karaoke, it was just me making a fool. You need Rogue to win for your parlay. I see. Interesting. Wondering what that is going to be about. Wondering what that will be about. BYUN, is he doing the command center first builds once again here? Really? Honestly? With the two, I mean, sure. Is this safer against the roaches, or is this less safe against the roaches? I mean, you're gonna have more marines, perhaps, right? You should be able to get the reactor and the tech lab out in time, I believe. He's gonna get triple barracks. All right. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking at BYUN's campsite. all Korean chat but me. Well, I mean, there's some other people out there as well that also prefer the English chatter, but we're heavily outnumbered here. The Koreans, they definitely have the numbers. I mean, to be fair, it is their national sport anyway, right? StarCraft and StarCraft 2. It is kind of their thing, to be fair. So we're just trying to steal that thing. Overall, the Europeans are like, you know what? That is kind of fun, isn't it? That does seem like a lot of fun. That's StarCraft 2, and then suddenly we have a Finnish boy that's better than anyone, and then an Italian boy, and then a French boy, and then Very weird stuff. Well, still have BYUN and Rogue here as well, of course. So yeah, in the situation where we find ourselves in right now, it's mostly a question of when BYUN is going to be moving out with those Marines. Is he going to try to get Stimpack with this as well? Did he already get Stimpack? I don't think he did. Yeah. I mean, he's making a lot of Marines. I would anticipate Stimpack to be coming up soon. There it is. Alright, yep. Is he going to wait for Combat Shield as well? Probably not, right? You will want to move out with these Marines before Combat Shield is ready. Probably about when Stimpack is about right over here, right? Just past the midway mark, you can start moving across the map. And when you get to the Zerg, that will be finished up quite nicely. And then just start shooting with that Stimpack. Gotta watch out for those Zerglings, of course. Previously, we saw Rogue intercepting all those Marines without their combat shields. And in the middle of the map, exposed, not set up against the wall. And that can just be the end of any type of Marine attempts, of course, as well. It would be a shame. It most definitely would be a shame. No third base for BYUN, no fourth base for Rogue. Kind of anticipated here, of course. Rogue really trying his best, trying to make sure that he sees any type of attempted move out from BYUN here, no matter where it goes from. There's a lot of Zerglings just kind of patrolling the area here, wanting to see any type of medevac, any Marine, any type of unit, really. And tries to make a move. There we go. Okay, so knows that is coming in right now. Does not have a Bailing Nest just quite yet. So this could become a whole lot of trouble for our little Red Riding Hood Rogue. The little Red Riding Rogue. Here we are. 8 Zerglings in total that's seeming produced. I don't know. I don't know, guys. BYUN just backs off. Wow. Does he really? Does he really just back off here? I think he's waiting. The Zerglings, they might be sent out, right? Rogue not realizing what is going on here. He's going to get curious. He's going to send those Zerglings out. Only sends one out. So you're not really getting a good surprise attack and being able to dwindle down those Zergling numbers, of course. He waits for the medevac, so he has a better chance of escaping. Now starting the trade. And that's a pretty good trade. The Bailing Nest did get completed, but the Bailings, they never got started. And that means that these Marines, they are going absolutely ham. GG is called just like that. Rogue making the Bailing Nest, but then just foregoing the Bailings. Never really deciding that, you know what, maybe I need these. Getting a bit caught off guard, anticipating BYUN having moved back across the map, and then all of a sudden... Wait a moment, that is just more Marines instead of less Marines. Tough luck. Alright, let's see what map they want to be playing on right here, or at least which one Rogue wants to be playing on. The downside of this is, guys, of course, after this loss, right, if he wins this one, BYUN's going to have map choice, and that map choice will be... anyone out of 6 maps, right? So most likely submarine. Jigannatha. Alright. Jigannatha. I like that. Wait. No, okay. Not entirely sure. Not entirely sure whether or not Rogue wants to have Jigannatha and then wait, or if he wanted Jigannatha and then said, wait, I changed my mind. Probably just the first one, right? Probably wants to play Jigannatha. I'm going to say he wants to play Jigannatha. And he just went to the toilet or something like that. Probably. I would assume. Jaga, okay. Yep, he wants Jaga. Jaga! Or Jaga! Alright, looks like they're both ready. Headed off. Headed off into the blissful nature universe of Juggernaut. Luscious green fields, lovely Brodos temples with pointy ends that will impale you if you get too close and accidentally trip. Wonderful nature, some crazy creatures, and a whole bunch of war, of course, as well. Here we go. Just two of the major warlords here. Trying to figure out who is the bigger warlord. We'll have to see. Top right side, a blue Terran player fighting for the Shopify Rebellion. Mr. BYUN. His opponent needs 2 victories here to still claim the ultimate prize. Will he be able to do it? Will he be able to get another comeback going into his favor? The Red Zerg from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is Rogue. Alright. If this does become 5-3, I'm going to be very happy about my abilities to predict today. That is quite the fortunate turn of events. Honestly, to be fair, with BYUN opening up 2 victories in a row straight off the bat, it did feel like Rogue was just going to have a bad day overall. Not really get himself any momentum going in this series, but that definitely did turn around, and now it's just a question of whether or not he will be able to recapture that momentum. It is his map choice. It is the map that he won previously as well. We'll see if he can make that happen one more time here, as it is quite the tough thing to do. There is a gap in BYUN's wall. There is an actual gap in BYUN's wall here. I'm not sure if this is intended or if we're supposed to panic right now. But that is a gap, right? I'm fairly certain that was. I think I saw an SEV move through. Can he move through? Please, Mr. SEV, try it out for me. It's not really trying it out for me. We'll come back around later. Ooh. Oh, there we go. All right, yeah. Moves it now. Lovely. Fixes. Those are the worst ways to lose StarCraft 2 games, right? Just being like, oh, if this building was placed 1 little cube upwards, 1 little square on the grid upwards, I would not have lost this game. Instead, everything got surrounded by Zerglings. Banelings got on top of everything all of a sudden because I thought I wouldn't be able to, and then blammo. Well, yeah, you're dead. Dead as the dodo, as they say. It's always a weird expression for me, as I have a friend whose nickname is Dodo. And as far as I am aware, he is fully alive. Hugging homeless people on the streets of London. It's quite an eccentric character indeed. What is going on here? The creep spread is doing an alright job. For these earlier parts, of course. A Reaper trying to find his way into the underbelly of the Zerg. Trying to figure out what's happening here, of course. What kind of tech structures are we doing? What are we dealing with? Are you trying anything sneaky? Because you see, I am trying something sneaky. And I am hoping that you will not be able to see what is going on there. We see a fusion core coming up. Tech Lab about the same time period when that will finish up here. And we'll see those, battle cruisers coming into the play. So it's been a while since we really saw the battle cruisers, at least when I saw the battle cruisers. Don't see them that often anymore these days. They were a little bit figured out. A lot of Zerg started doing 2 base Mutalisk timing attacks as well. And considering for how long they were around, I mean... And that shows that it's a valuable strategy. Right? It's a valuable, valuable strategy. And if, as a Zerg player, you're not completely prepared for it, it could still come to haunt you, right? It could still come to bite you in the butt. To be fair, we're seeing Rogue really taking a bit of a gamble himself here. He's adding in a ton of roaches. And that will be his way to try and combat this situation right now. The battle cruisers, of course, well, they can shoot ground. And the ground forces of Rogue cannot shoot upwards. But will they just be too much for Rogue? As yeah, it's going to be a numbers game for him. Or an attempted numbers game for him. That's a lot of Hellions, though. The Hellions, if they get the Zerglings already, would be quite fantastic. Finding a couple of them. As the Roaches now starting to come closer and closer. There's the first battle cruiser. Needs to target down the Ravager. As the main target is going to start taking it down. Very lovely stuff in that. I mean, guys, I hate to be a negative Nancy here. A Debbie Downer. But, I mean, honestly, is this still manageable here now for Rogue? He's going to lose a ton of units here. Okay, so he will be coming back across the map here. After he realizes the battlecruiser is now on his side of the map. Will be jumping on forwards here, trying to get himself on top of the natural base. Is it just me, or is the clock above that mini-map completely out of whack? Why is it up so high against this ledge? That is not where it's supposed to be, right? What in the world am I seeing here? Anyway, the battlecruiser is still dealing damage in the main base. It is taking absolutely everything apart. The Banshee sniping at those Ravagers. They're having a rough time at it overall. A great choice there for BYUN. Adding in a Banshee. The Banshee helping out a ton against those Roaches, much like the battlecruiser. But they're a lot more quick on their feet. And they're a lot quicker out of the production cycle as well, of course. Allowing you to have a much beefier front. And a much beefier way of dealing with the Roaches. A lot quicker. Very well played. Is this normal? Is this always like this? Because this does not feel correct to me. Why is this a thing? Why is the clock there? Did I do something? Did I press a button to make that happen? Is it just always like that on Shiganathon? I haven't really noticed. That would be embarrassing. It's a self-proclaimed graphic design. Huh. Alright, pushing on forwards. 2 Banshees, a battlecruiser, and a couple of Hellbats. Don't seem to be enough to clean up the Queen front. Battlecruiser just jumps across. It's like, alright, well, if you have your Queens over here, let me just try to do something over there. Fair enough, we're not going to be too troubled by that. No worries, good sir. All in the day of a battlecruiser. Alright. BYUN has his 3rd base started up and is comfortably mining right now. We have only a single drone being killed off, but to be fair, the worker count very similar still. Rogue went for an all-in. So that means that the battlecruiser opening here for BYUN didn't necessarily have to do as much as it would have had to otherwise. Look at this. Only now a Spire coming up, of course. The Baneling Nest finishing up. Quite a conundrum here for Rogue, I would say. Not a good position for him to be in. He's going to have an uphill battle here for most of the remainder, I would say. Unless if BYUN somehow drops the ball very quickly here. And then the game continues on for a little bit longer. Alright, coming in. Mr. BYUN, is this the big fight? Is this the moment? Siege tanks, a single Hellbat, and a ton of Marines. Why do those Marines not have combat shield? Why do they not have combat shield just quite yet? +2/+2 is on the way. The combat shield still not a thing. Zergling's getting a good surround, and that is absolutely abysmal. There's no bailing speed yet either, though, to be fair. So the Marines actually are capable of dishing out enough damage to push themselves forwards. The battlecruiser joining in as well. If those Marines manage to all get back up to green HP, this might be enough. But again, the lack of combat shields here really being quite bothersome, I would say, for BYUN, losing a lot more of those Marines than he would have normally. Yeah, I think he would have won there. Had he had combat shields, that would have just kept on pushing. Now, second wave here. Finally does have that upgrade. Will we see a difference right now? Already, you know what, just staying alive against those Zerglings for a lot longer period of time. Has more Marines now to jump forward against those Queens. The Banelings not being enough. And there we have it. GG is called. BYUN takes game number 8 as well. And will set himself up with a 5-3 victory. Very well played there by BYUN.